show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's August 3rd, 2021. I'm Gary Furman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined as always by our managing editor, Matt Shodell, as we discuss the news of the day. And already the third day of August, which means we're just 3 days away from the start of Miami Hurricanes training camp. And that'll be an exciting subject as we move forward here this week, Matt. But as usual, many things to talk about. So let me start with something that popped on Twitter last night, which I thought was kind of interesting. We might as well discuss for a moment here. And that was a report that came from Pro Football Focus that suggested that Clemson and Florida State were both exploring moves to the SEC. And, you know, I'll only assume that there might be some legitimacy to that report. Pro Football Focus is a reasonably respected source. And if it is true, Matt, that is not good news to Miami, and that is not good news to the ACC. Your thoughts?
I mean, you just said it. I mean, if they leave, it's not good news. Like, let's wait and see. But I hope Miami and Blake James have a backup plan. You know, I hope it's not stay in the ACC no matter what. You know, you have to explore your options. I mean, it sounds like FSU and Clemson are exploring their options. It doesn't mean that they'll necessarily leave. But, you know, Miami can't have this just, you know, the ACC will be fine. The ACC is great mentality.
I don't know what they can do. I mean, I don't think moving to the SEC would be a good move for Miami. But the fact that you're going to have the super conference forming in the southeastern part of the United States without you is certainly not a good thing either. And Clemson leaving the ACC obviously creates quite a void in football. I mean, obviously they could try to get Notre Dame to come into the ACC, and if Clemson leaves, they'll probably go start recruiting others. But I can't figure out any way to spin that rumor into anything that is remotely good for the Hurricanes or the ACC. So that'll be one to watch here as we move forward. But moving on to the news of the day, let me start with a story that I thought was kind of touching. 2024 wide receiver Day Farmer received a Miami offer on July the 30th, and it just so happened to be the day that his father passed away. And obviously, for a young boy to lose his dad is an absolute, you know, disaster and a very somber situation. And Day might have committed to Miami immediately when he received that offer if he and his family weren't mourning the passing of dad. So I would still suspect that a commitment will come from him in the not too distant future. He's 2024, so there's obviously time. But you know, obviously just a terribly sad story.
Yeah, I mean, his dad went to all his games, you know, growing up, and it's hard. You know, when I called him, I hadn't realized what had happened. You know, and he just flat out said, you know, I said, "Oh, I saw you got a Miami offer. Congratulations." He said, "Yeah." He said, "It was the same day that my father passed." I said, "Oh my gosh, you know, I'm so sorry for your loss." And you know, he talked about it somewhat matter of factly. You know, I'm not sure if he still has processed necessarily, you know, his father's gone forever, but super nice kid. And, you know, it's nice, I guess, in a weird way that he did have a small ray of sunshine that day that Miami offered. Miami hadn't realized that his father had passed and wound up offering through his coach after realizing what had happened, you know, just let him know that he has an offer from us type of thing, you know. And Day said, yeah, you know, if it was in just a normal day, he would have just committed right on the spot. Like, that's how much he likes Miami. So yeah, this, you know, he said he didn't feel right doing it, you know, so soon after his father passing. So, but, you know, at some point in the future, I would expect he'll be a Hurricane. Super nice kid, you know, great athlete as well. And, you know, your heart goes out to a kid like that.
He's from Melbourne, and definitely one to keep an eye on here in the coming weeks. And it would probably be expected that he'll commit to Miami. But just horrible. We feel so badly for him, and he talked about how much his dad would have loved the moment of a Miami offer coming into the household, and hopefully, I mean, things work out okay for Day Day, and he ends up committing to Miami and has a wonderful career that his dad can look down upon and be proud, maybe in a different kind of way. All right. On another receiver note in recruiting, 2023 wide receiver Andy Jean from Miami Northwestern came out to the pool party on Saturday, and Miami has re-engaged with him. Give us the latest on that one, Matt.
Yeah, it's interesting. He wasn't even invited to the barbecue, and then he went out to a 7-on-7 camp, did really well at Miami. Went to Paradise Camp, performed really well, and lo and behold, now all of a sudden, invited to the pool party as one of the elite recruits, and they're all gathering around him and talking to him the whole time. The coaches, it's a very deep wide receiver class in 2023, and it's going to be really interesting to see, because I think Miami will get at least 2 or 3 of those kids. And we list in the story a bunch of the top wide receiver prospects in that class. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all shakes out. But he's one of them to keep an eye on for sure. And right now, because Miami did basically not recruit him hard, Miami's not his front runner right now. Georgia's the team to beat, but Miami's made up a lot of ground, and it's the hometown team. So one to keep an eye on for sure.
And a lot of time there, obviously, as well. He's 2023. All right, but it's not all about recruiting today. We have a few other really interesting stories for you guys this morning. I'll start with our analyst, T. Frank, has taken an in-depth look at the commitment of Traquan Fagans and broken down his film a little bit and given his thoughts. And I think everybody will enjoy that one. And our resident historian, James Martz,
shout out to James Martz.
has taken a look back at the 20-year anniversary of the 2001 national championship team, and Jim makes the what I think is a very legit argument in case that team is the best team in the history of college football. Now, you're talking about a lot of years, a lot of teams. It's very hard to compare team to team. But I will say this, Matt, as somebody who's been here for going on, 40 plus seasons now, the hair's not totally gray yet, but it's getting there. But no, seriously, literally 40 plus seasons of Hurricane football, and there is no question that that's the best team that I've seen in my time here. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I was with CaneSport from 93 to 97, then had an ill-advised move to Baltimore for 4 years due to my wife. And then I came back, and the first year I came back was 2001 season, and you said, hey, let's go to the Rose Bowl. And I was out there in Pasadena watching that, and it was just like, I figured that was going to be the way it was every year. I'm like, this is great. Every year I'll go to a major bowl game, we'll be winning championships. It's going to be a lot of fun covering this team. And then I don't know what you did to the team, Gary, but it hasn't been the same since then. And, I wish you'd fix whatever you did to the team and get it back to that. But
yeah, hell of a 20. We could celebrate the 20-year anniversary, but the 20 since then have been something else, man.
That was 20 years ago this season. That's amazing. It feels like it was 50 years ago and 5 years ago at the same time. It's really weird the way time works. But yeah, that was by far the best team I've seen here, obviously. And I don't think I've seen another team that Miami's played any better than that 2001 team was. That was just a dominating team.
It's funny that you said that about it seemed like every year. I literally had that thought. Like, 1 year we're in the Sugar Bowl, the next year we're in the Rose Bowl, the next year we're in the Fiesta Bowl. And like, it was just an expectation that on New Year's Day or in that time frame, Miami was going to be in the top 5 and in one of the significant bowl games at the end of the college football season. And it's just stunning the way that this is played out. I do believe that Miami can be Miami again. I really do. This whole SEC thing is not going to help the situation. But, I do believe that one day, somehow, some way, that Miami could start being Miami again. And it's not that far out of reality. I really don't feel that way. I mean, when you look at recruiting, and this is an evolving recruiting staff. Let's be honest. They've had some high points, they've had some low points. Still, way too much talent getting out of South Florida. But Miami's always going to get skill position players. Realistically, between the transfer portal and traditional recruiting, Miami can get skill position players. Where things are kind of challenged right now is at the line of scrimmage. And if that situation changes at some point, I think you'll see Miami very quickly start competing for championships again. So hopefully the days of the Rose Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, and the Orange Bowl, a little easier to get to the Orange Bowl, obviously, because of the ACC tie-in. But hopefully the days of those major bowl berths will be back again, and we'll all have the opportunity to go to those big games once more. All right, and lastly today, we've got a look at our 2021 opponent series is continuing, and it's taking a look today at Florida State. And Matt, Florida State is an interesting opponent on this year's schedule because Miami's gotten the better of them now for a few years, and they've been kind of reeling a little bit. And last year, they never really got their legs under them except when they played North Carolina, and they pulled off that upset. This year, I think it's a little different, and I think this is going to be a better Florida State team. I don't think they're all the way there yet, but they've got two quarterbacks that they feel that they can count on, with Mackenzie Milton coming in from Central Florida, and then the other kid, his name's escaping me at this moment, Travis, coming back also to share quarterback time with Mackenzie Milton. And I think that they've improved themselves at a lot of positions. They've improved themselves up front. They brought in a top shelf defensive end from Georgia, who I'm hearing glowing things about. And that game in Tallahassee in the middle of the season, to me, is going to be a dangerous spot. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if Milton is like as good as he was before the injury, and it was a major injury, and I don't know how he'll turn out. And I guess the other guy I think is Jordan Travis. But like if Milton is as good as he was at UCF, they'll be good. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. When I researched the team for this preview, like they're just not good. And the only thing that's going to save them is a miraculous quarterback who can just, that the offensive line's not good, right? So he can run that guy. He showed that at UCF. He can run. He can throw. He's multidimensional. He can do a lot of things to make a bad offensive line look a lot better, and that's going to be the key. If they don't have Milton at the quarterback playing the way he used to play at UCF before his injury, there may be a 500 team if they're lucky. They're just not good. Like I don't know what happened. They were getting four-star recruits, and I know stars don't matter and all that, but I mean, it's a disaster over there. And I know
It's weird.
They're trying to get things back on track, and I think the recruiting is going to be better now. And I think they're probably 2 to 3 years away from being good again. I don't think this is going to be the year they're going to be good, unless, like I said, Milton's this miraculous answer for them.
I don't understand how Jimbo Fisher just flames out the last couple of years in Tallahassee. That is the weirdest thing in the world to me, especially when you look at what he's doing at Texas A&M now. And Texas A&M is a team in the SEC that's going to be very dangerous this year, and people believe could pull an upset or two and get into the mix, even for a playoff berth. So we'll see if it plays out that way. But so Jimbo clearly hasn't lost it. I mean, he moves to College Station and immediately gets that program on the upswing and is doing a good job there. So what happened in Tallahassee, I'm not really sure. We'll have to try to get to the bottom of that as it gets closer. We'll get some of our FSU experts on this show, or there's some other shows. We'll talk to Gene Williams and get his opinion, and maybe we'll get a little bit more to the bottom of what happened to the Seminoles. But I still would not be surprised to see that game be a nail biter. I really don't, and I really would not, rather. And the fact that they were able to do it last year to North Carolina, I think, is evidence of that they're still a dangerous enough team that if they put together a solid game plan and a good game, and Mike Norvell's definitely capable of that, with the teams at the level that they're at in the ACC, that Florida State, they're not going to challenge Clemson, obviously, be at that level. But they can make a little noise at different points in the season. So we'll see if I'm right on that as the season unfolds. All right, that's going to do it for today. Just a little coming attraction for you. Tomorrow we have the debut of our Leonard Taylor blog. We did the NIL deal with Leonard. He'll be bringing blogs to you guys all season long, and the first one is pretty close to done and ready to go. And we'll have that for you on Wednesday morning, and I think you'll enjoy that. And really looking forward to having a lot of players involved with us this year at CaneSport and giving you guys some different types of content that maybe we haven't in the past. This NIL is letting us evolve a little bit, and we're looking to do our part and become a more versatile media company for you guys and give you a wide assortment of content. And the Leonard Taylor blog would certainly fall into that classification. All right, well, thank you for joining us this morning. For Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Furman, and until next time, we'll say goodbye, everybody.